Never lend your horse, because this might happen to you. In a small town of the Old West, where the streets were dirt and dust rose just from a horse passing by, there lived a cowboy. He wasn't rich, nor did he seek honor or fame. What he had, and guarded most dearly, was a chestnut horse he had raised since it was a colt. That animal was his life. He rode it at dawn, took it to the fields, used it to herd cattle, and led it to the creek to drink. And the greatest thing was that the horse knew him by heart. The weight of his body, the scent of his sweat, the way he pressed his knees when asking for firmness, and the softness of the reins when letting it roam free. Every day was the same. The cowboy rose early, just as the sky began to pale. He walked to the corral, hat pulled low, a bucket of water in hand. There stood the horse, waiting. "Morning, partner," he'd say softly as he opened the gate. The horse would twitch its ears, as if replying. The cowboy cleaned its hooves, one by one, murmuring, "Let's get you clean. The road's a long one." Snuff, the horse would snort, lowering its head. "Yeah, I know you don't like standing still," the man said with a smile. "But bear with me." Then he'd grab the brush and sweep it across its back. The horse closed its eyes for a moment, enjoying it. "That's better. See? Not so bad." When he whistled, the horse came on its own. No one else understood that. It was like an invisible pact. "Come on, come here," said the cowboy. And the horse obeyed. That kind of trust, believe me, can't be bought. It's earned, with years, with care, with patience. Days went by the same, until one noon someone appeared in the plaza, a childhood friend. He came walking, tired steps, clothes full of dust, his voice cheerful but a bit nervous. "Hey, long time no see," said the friend, arms open. "Too long," replied the cowboy, hugging him tight. "You look just the same," laughed the friend. "And you, still skinny as ever," joked the cowboy. They sat under the shade on a wooden bench. They talked about old games, races by the river, how they'd fight over silly things. And soon they were laughing again. "Remember when we tried to steal apples and the old man from the orchard chased us?" asked the friend. "How could I forget? He almost caught us," replied the cowboy, laughing. "And you tripped on the fence," the friend added, slapping his leg. "Yeah, but in the end, we outran his dogs." They both laughed. For a moment they seemed like boys again, but the laughter slowly faded away. After reminiscing about old times, the friend lowered his voice and said in a hurry, "You know what? I need to ask you a favor. I owe money to the lender at the cantina. I was supposed to pay him today, but I've got nothing. If I don't show up, the interest will rise, and I'll never get out of that hole. Lend me your horse, just to go talk to him, renegotiate. I won't take long." The cowboy looked at him silently. He knew a horse isn't something you lend, but the weight of friendship and a bit of shame pressed inside him. At last, without a word, he nodded. The friend climbed on in a rush before the horse could recognize him. He didn't offer his hand, didn't soothe it with his voice. The horse flinched, muscles tense. "Easy, beast," growled the friend, and dug his spurs in. The horse bolted, kicking up a cloud of dust that rose over the plaza. The cowboy watched it disappear, a knot tightening in his throat. "Oh, partner, what are they doing to you?" he whispered. Time passed, and the horse didn't return. At the cantina, the friend sat before the moneylender, who waited with two men by his side. The air was heavy, thick with the smell of spilled mezcal. "You're late," said the lender, his voice dry. "I came to renegotiate. I've got nothing now, but if you give me a few days, I'll pay. If not, the interest will eat me alive," the friend replied, trying to sound firm. "No stories here," the man snapped, rapping his knuckles on the table. "Either you pay today, or tomorrow it doubles." The friend shifted nervously in his chair. Sweat ran down his forehead. He looked at his empty pockets and murmured, "I can't." The lender clicked his tongue. The men beside him stood up. One shoved him against the table. There were shouts, falling chairs, bottles rolling across the floor. The friend struggled free, pushed his way through and ran for the door. "Get him," barked the lender. "Block the way." Others shouted from inside. The friend burst into the street, gasping for air. The horse was there, tied to the post. He leapt on and spurred it without mercy. "Run, damn beast, run!" he shouted, fear painted across his face. The animal snorted and heaved, not understanding those rough hands or that harsh voice. They forced it down rocky trails, pulled it sharply, pressed it cruelly. The horse, used to the cowboy's calm, now ran blind, confused and terrified. Down a slope, the inevitable happened. Its hoof slipped on a rock, and the horse fell sideways, rolling through dust and stones. The friend was thrown, hit the ground face first, and coughed up dirt. The horse managed to stand again, but its gaze was lost, its breath short and broken. As the afternoon faded, the friend came back. His clothes were torn, his face smudged with dust, and a nervous smile that fooled no one. "Nothing happened. Just slipped a little," he said, handing over the reins. The cowboy took the rope in silence. He leaned forward, offering his hand for the horse to smell, as he always did. But this time, the animal lowered its head and stepped back, wary. The cowboy felt an emptiness inside his chest. "I know, partner. I know," he whispered. That small moment said more than 1,000 words. Trust, so hard to earn, had been broken. The sun was setting when the cowboy led the horse back to the corral. He said nothing, just left it there, still, with water and oats. Then he walked home with slumped shoulders, as if carrying an invisible weight. That night, he barely slept. In his mind, he replayed over and over the moment the horse stepped back, refusing his hand. That tiny gesture hurt more than any wound. At dawn, he went to the corral as always. He whistled softly, just like every morning. "Come here, partner," he said gently. But the horse didn't move. It stayed in the corner, watching him with one steady, cautious eye. The cowboy swallowed hard. He walked closer, slowly, hand outstretched. "Don't be afraid, it's me." The horse snorted, turned its head aside, and stepped back once more. "I see," the man murmured, lowering his hand. "You don't trust me?" He stood there for a long time, not knowing what to do. Then he sighed and walked away, leaving a bucket of clean water and some oats behind. And so began a hard season, days and weeks, where the cowboy tried to regain what was lost. Every morning he went to the corral. He didn't try to ride, didn't try to force it. He just fed and cared for the horse. "Here you go. Fresh water?" "Snf." The horse snorted warily. "Don't worry. I'm not here to ride you. Just to feed you." The horse watched him from afar, as if keeping guard. Sometimes it would step closer, sniff the air. But the moment the cowboy reached out his hand, it pulled away again. "That's all right," the man said, his voice tired. "I'll wait for you." Weeks passed. The cowboy worked the fields, but no longer rode. He walked long distances under the burning sun, while the horse watched him from the corral. The man came back limping with exhaustion, yet he never failed to care for it. "Even if you won't take my hand, I'll still be here," he told it every evening. "I'm not like the other one. I won't hurt you." Some neighbors looked at him oddly. "Why don't you just ride it already?" one asked. "Because it's not ready," the cowboy replied. "It's just a horse." Another laughed. "No," the man answered firmly. "It's more than that." Months went by. The horse no longer backed away as much, no longer lowered its head in distrust. Sometimes, when the cowboy left the bucket, the animal came close enough to brush his sleeve with its nose. "That's it, boy. That's good," said the man, holding back his emotion. One morning at dawn, the cowboy whistled like always. The horse perked up its ears and for the first time in a long while began to walk toward him. Not fast, not with the confidence of before, but close enough to smell the palm of his hand. The cowboy smiled, eyes wet. "I've missed you, partner." He didn't try to ride that day, nor the next. He simply stroked its neck with patience, talking to it as to an old wounded friend. "I know you haven't forgotten what happened. I don't blame you. I'm the one who failed. But I'm here, and I'm not leaving." The horse snorted softly, lowering its head a little as if accepting those words. Months went by again. The cowboy worked to rebuild its trust little by little, first with a hand on its neck, then the light saddle, then walking beside it with loose reins. Step by step, never rushing. Some days the horse shied away again as if remembering the fall, and the cowboy never got angry. He only said, "That's all. Right. Not today. Tomorrow we'll try again." Until one morning after nearly 8 months, the horse didn't move when the man placed his foot in the stirrup. It stayed still, breathing deep. The cowboy carefully mounted the saddle. The animal tensed for a second, but didn't move away. The man stroked it gently and whispered, "Thank you for trusting me again." That first ride was short, just one circle around the corral. But in those few steps was everything: patience, waiting, pain, and hope. Listen, my friend, don't lend your horse, because that animal isn't just a thing. It's a being that knows you better than anyone. It knows the weight of your body, can pick your scent among 1,000, understands how you tighten your knees when you ask for strength, and how you loosen the reins when you grant freedom. That bond isn't built in a day. It's earned with years of care, of patience, of mutual respect. And if you lend it, even for a moment, you risk losing something greater than an animal. You risk breaking trust, because your horse doesn't understand other hands, other voices. What you built with calm, another can undo in seconds, with harshness, fear, or neglect. And when that happens, there are no words enough to explain it. Only the bitter silence of seeing what once trusted you now step away in doubt. So I tell you, never lend your horse. Never lend what beats with you, what knows who you are deep down, what recognizes your voice even from afar. Because if you do, it may never be the same again. And listen closely. I'm not just talking about horses.